So for today, so that we have a light plot to work with, I pulled up the Spring Dance Concert light plot. Okay, just so we have a fully kind of loaded light plot. So if you're looking at this going, I don't get how this would work for Irma Vep, it probably wouldn't work for Irma Vep. Okay, but we're talking about finishing up a light plot today. I know the one big thing we got to show you guys is how to install a scroller. Okay, so to install a scroller, go to your resource browser, go to your top one, which in your case will be called Irma Vep. In this case, it's called FCC Dance Concert Spring 2014-class. Okay, and all the way at the bottom of the list will be the scroller, and it's called the scroller. So it alphabetizes under T. Don't ask me, I didn't build it. Okay. I'm going to find a light with a scroller on it and delete it. Here's a light with a scroller on it. Oh, they're on the sides. Okay, fine. I'm going to add a scroller to this light, okay, for no good reason. Okay, double-click on the scroller. It's going to come up and say, did you know that double-clicking an accessory symbol will automatically activate the accessory insertion tool? Okay, that means double-clicking it will activate the tool you need to put it on. That's awesome. Okay, click where you want it to be. Okay, your first click inserts it. Your second click, you can rotate it if you need to. In this case, I don't need to rotate it. It's the right direction. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do it there. I'm going to do it on one of my spares because they could have it go well. So here, we'll do it on this one. Okay, so I put it on. Second click sets my orientation. Okay, and the third click I need to do is I need to select what light it is attached to. Accessories can't float in mid-space. They have to attach to a light. Okay, and obviously this is the light I want to attach it to, right? Click on it. Okay, and now as we come over to our object info, we see that we have a lighting device. It is an accessory. Its device type is an accessory. It's a scroller. It's on the second electric. We have to give it a channel number. This is very important. For our light board, the channel number of the scroller is the same as the channel number of the light to which it is attached. Our light board is smart enough to understand that they go together. Okay? Well, it's not the Vectorworks not so much. It's because, for example, the show Haley is doing at Second Space. That light board does not know from scroller. It does not understand what a scroller is, what a scroller does. It is just another thing. And you cannot, if you put the scroller as the same channel as the light that it's on, as you turn the light brighter, the scroller will move in its position, which is not particularly useful because it means if you want the first color of the scroller, you have to have the light at 0. If you want the second color of the scroller, you have to have the light at 7%. Okay? Because that's the way the scroller works. Okay? The light board we have here understands what a scroller is and understands that if this channel is a light and a scroller, that it has one way to control the light and a separate way in the computer to control the scroller. Okay? So if Haley wanted to do scrollers on her show, they'd have to be a different channel number. And a channel number that was not being used by anything else. Okay? So in this case, it's channel 95, so I put in 95. Okay, the other thing that you probably want to do is use Legend. This is your label Legend Manager here. You probably don't need anything. Your scroller, since it's going to have the same information as the light that it's on, doesn't need to display anything, so you can just delete that, and everything will be good. Make sense? Okay? So we put in a scroller. Okay? Let's look at the other things I'm supposed to cover today. Okay, sheet layers, borders, title blocks, and paperwork. We're going to start with paperwork. Remember, you guys did a rough hookup, right? Okay, and that was something that you handed so that you could figure out how to do your light plot. Well, you have to do an official hookup, if you remember from your reading. And your official hookup lists every light in your lighting design and organizes it by channel number. Okay? You also have to do an instrument schedule, which lists every light in your lighting design and sorts them by position. Okay, in my day, you opened up Excel and you typed every single light into Excel with all this information. Isn't that a pain in the neck? You guys don't have to do that. Okay, early days of Vectorworks, one of the coolest things that it did was it would export it to Excel, so you wouldn't have to type it in. But we're even cooler than that today. Okay, under the Spotlight menu, and by the way, if you don't have a Spotlight menu, go to Tools, Workspaces, Spotlight. Okay. Huh? Yeah, okay. If you don't have a Spotlight member, okay. So you're going to come down to Report, because an instrument schedule and a channel hookup are a report. Okay. Click on Reports. Those reports are called paperwork. Okay, that is the old-fashioned name that line designers have called it forever. Okay, so generate paperwork. And you get a pop-up menu. Pop-up menu says instrument schedule, channel hookup, dimmer hookup, circuit hookup, color schedule, inventory, magic sheets, color cut list. You guys are required to have an instrument schedule and a channel hookup. That's it. That's all you need to have. Okay? Header configuration will show however you want to arrange it. The name of the show, the date, any other information you want to have. Okay? So, designer name. What should you fill in there? Your name. Okay? I can't tell you how many of these assignments you get because I generate the files for you that say list me as the designer. Yeah. Okay? Put your name in there, not mine. Okay? Show name. Okay, what's your show name? Mystery of Irma Vep. Okay, the Mystery of Irma Vep. Okay, date. It is really important because as you revise things and you're sending out paperwork, people need to know when it was generated. I love this feature. Click on the button that says date. It puts in today's date. I know, isn't that wonderful? Okay. Click OK. And what happened?
It did the job for
It did it. Now, how do you go look at it? Because I'll tell you, one of the greatest things about paperwork is it's a way for you to check your design, to make sure everything's in there. Because you've got your rough hookup and your final hookup and they're not the same, ooh, you might have a problem. So you go to Window, Worksheets, Channel Hookup. Here is my channel hookup. Channel number, dimmer number. Notice dimmer numbers are blank. Who fills in the dimmer number? Master electrician. They haven't gotten the work yet, so it's fine. So, instrument type. It has filled in the type of instrument for everything. Purpose of the light. If you didn't fill in a purpose, it won't show up here. I recommend. Okay, look, ooh, bad designer. I don't have a purpose in here. Okay, I should. Focus. Where does the light point? Okay, you're going to want to make sure all this information is in there. Okay, now in the case of these that are missing, they're my moving lights, so they focus wherever the heck they want. That's the whole point of them. Okay, the moving lights have scrollers built into them, so they don't have a color because they have a scroller built into them. Okay, where they're hung, first electric, fourth electric, and their instrument and their unit numbers. Okay, oh, remind me, I have to show you guys, unit numbers also automatically happen. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay. You need to run the paperwork. You do not have to print it. I will look at it in Vectorworks. However, I will not hit update. Okay, how do you update your paperwork? You select Spotlight, generate paperwork, and OK. That's how it makes new paperwork. Okay, and it just overwrites the old stuff. Okay, you notice all this stuff's filled in. So here's a light with a scroller. Channel 51. Oh no, that's a Twofold light. Where's something with a scroller? Where are my scrollers in the show? Ah, look, okay, channel 102 has a scroller and a light. Okay? It automatically groups them together because it says, guess what? These are the same thing. Right? Yes? Okay. Okay? I strongly recommend going through your channel hookup. Yes, it takes 30 seconds to run it, but this is such a great way to notice if something's missing. I do this regularly when I'm doing a show. Oops, I don't have purposes in for all this stuff. Okay? Unfortunately, I cannot, well, I can click here and say, oh yeah, this is supposed to be a fill and type in fill. nothing actually happens. It shows up on the paperwork, but if you run paperwork again, all those changes go away. You have to go back to the lights, okay? So channel 176, 177, 178, 179, 180 don't have purposes, okay? I need to fix that. So I'm going to show you how I fix that. Close this. You go find the lights on your light plot. I happen to know they're over here. Okay, I'm going to select the lights. I'm going to select all of them because they all have exactly the same purpose. And go to my object info and go, oh, purpose. It is fill. Okay? If I go back to my window, worksheets, channel hookup, and come down here, you're going to see that they have not been updated. Why? I didn't run the worksheet again. Okay? So, spotlight, reports, generate paperwork. This time everything's set up. Okay? Click OK. And window. Oops, still working. There we go. Window, worksheets, channel hookup. Go down the bottom, and there they are. They're all labeled fill. Okay? So, make sure you run this. Okay? Same thing with your window, worksheets, instrument schedule. Okay? These are all organized by position, 1.5 electric. Okay. One of the great things about this is any light that does not have a position will show up first. If you missed and you clicked and you said, oh, I thought I had this hung on the first AP, but I don't. By the way, the first AP is particularly prone to the lights attaching to the edge of the stage, which is in a lighting position instead of the first AP. And you go, oh, they're not where I want them. Let me go fix that. Okay. Okay, so this is done. This is in pretty good shape. Okay. But again, you can check that of making sure, that your lights are all there. Okay. I mentioned that this will do your instrument numbering for you. Okay. We number our instruments generally top to bottom on a vertical position and stage left to stage right on a horizontal position. Okay. Click on the position name and object info, say auto number. Okay. And your auto numbering has to be turned on. Guess what? You can turn your auto numbering on for everything by doing toggle auto numbering. And it says auto numbering for all positions turned off. Wait, I want to turn them on. That's fine. We turn them off. Do toggle auto numbering again. The second time it will turn them on. Because toggle means either turn everything off or turn everything on. Okay? And so if I add a new light, let's say I add a light here real quick. I'm going to add a RoboScan to the third box boom, which would be a really bad idea. But I'm going to do it, okay? So notice it doesn't have an instrument number. Oh, I should give it a channel number.
It's not possible, is it? Doesn't a RoboScan have to be...
No, you can hang. Oh yeah. However, before you get too excited, you can't hit squat with a RoboScan from the third box boom.
Try it.
Yes. I tried in Vectorworks. I ran the simulations and said, yeah, not worth it. Okay. But I did hang RoboScans on booms on stage. Okay. Okay, so I need to put a channel number in for this, and I need to auto number this position. So I'm going to toggle my auto numbering, toggle auto numbering, and watch the position. All of a sudden, there we go. Now it's labeled 1, 2, 3. Okay. And that'll then, as if I run my paperwork again, that'll be reflected. Make sense? Okay. Couple of other things we want to do before we get ready to set this up as a light plot, because it's still not a light plot. It's a line design, but it's not a light plot. One of the things we've got to do is when people read the light plot, they need to know what all the symbols mean. We call that a key to instrumentation. Okay? In the old days, you had to draw each of your lights individually and label them and all that. Welcome to the digital age. Spotlight, reports, key to instrumentation. Click on it. What do you want to show? Do you want to show your instruments? So, generating a key to instrumentation. Okay? Tools, Spotlight, reports. Why are you? Oh, because I was in the middle of the command. Okay. Spotlight, reports, key to instrumentation. Select what you want to show. Instruments. You must show the instruments. Accessories. If you're using accessories, we have to know what they are. Like the scroller is an accessory. Inventory and counts. They're a good idea to include. And the active label legend. That will show what your label legend manager, whatever the one you're using the most, you should make sure is active. It's got the little red check mark next to it. And click OK. And now it says, click in the document to choose the insertion point for the key. The key inserts on the upper left-hand corner of where you click. So I'm going to click and just put this here. Okay. And there is my key to instrumentation. Let's take a look at this so we can see just what it looks like. Okay. So this symbol means a source 426 degree. There's 55 in inventory. I've used 32, and there are 23 remaining. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, what you want to do is you want to go down here and see RoboScan. 4 in inventory. I've used 5. There are -1 left in inventory. Is that a problem? Yes. Okay. So if you are negative numbers, you want to check that. Okay. Yes. The strip lights got deleted out of my inventory for somehow. So I have lots of negative numbers because I never went back in and updated my inventory. If you have lots of negative numbers, wake up, Quana. And now that's going to be on video on YouTube for everyone to hear.
Apparently you I'm awake.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, if you have lots of negative numbers, you want to talk to me about it because that means you don't have that much gear. Okay? If it is stuff that is not expensive to rent, I might go, yeah, sure, fine. Okay? If you need to rent additional RoboScan 918s, I just attempted to do it. You can't rent RoboScan 918s in Fresno. Because you know where the only 4 are? Here. Because they're older than most of you. Yeah. Yeah, they're from the early 90s. Okay, so they're the same age as most of you. Which in moving light terms makes them ancient. Okay? Come down to the bottom and we have the accessories listed.
Do they have scoops on them?
I didn't use any scoops, so they won't appear in my inventory. If you use scoops, they will appear in the inventory. Okay? And my label legend, so focus, color, gobo, unit number, channel dimmer. So that appears down there so that people know what all my symbols mean. Okay? The next thing, and this is a courtesy to designers. How many of you have ever had to hang a light plot for someone? Is it easier if you don't have to get out a scale rule and there's measurements on the light plot? Yes. So one of the things we try to do as a designer is to put a scale on the light plot. Theaters always measure from the center line out. So here's a scale. There might be one in the Irma Vep drawing already. I don't know. But I'm going to show you how to put one in. Okay? And I'm going to put one in down here just because it's out of the way. Okay? Go to your tool sets. And mine may not be open. Window palettes. Tool sets it is open. Let me find it. There it is. Tool sets. And you want to go to one that looks like the pencil and ruler, which is dims and notes. Dims is short for dimensions. Okay? And we want to find the scale. It's right here. This symbol, scale bar. Click to insert a scale bar. Click and click. 2 clicks and it's in. Okay? Or did I just put 2 in? Nope. Click once and then the second click rotates it. Go to your object info. Okay. Printed height, 1/2 inch, sure, whatever. Minor length division. I don't believe in doing minor lengths, so I just set my number of minor divisions to 0 and don't worry about it. Major length divisions. What dimension does the people hanging the light plot care about? Feet. They don't really care about inches. So put in your major division length as 12 inches, which is the same as 1 foot. Okay, and how many major divisions do you want? Well, how wide is your set? It's about 50 feet, but we start at 0, so we only need to do 0 to 25 feet, right? So put in 25 major divisions, and there they are. To get the other side, this is so easy. Select your mirror tool, and boop, there's my other side. Done, quick and easy. Okay? Do we have a light plot yet? No. What we have is a lighting design. But we have our keyed instrumentation, we've got our scale on here, we've made sure all of our instrument numbers are up to date. We're all good. Now we've got to make a light plot out of this. Okay? And this is going to be online, so you guys can follow the instructions. I highly recommend doing this when you can watch the video and click along with me. Okay? View. Create viewport. Click on that. Viewport name. Name this. Like, I don't know, how about something like light plot? Actually, we're going to call it Bob, though, because I already have one called light plot in here. Drawing title. Light plot, and I'm going to call this light plot B. You guys can just call it light plot. Okay? Create on layer. Create on a new sheet layer. Okay? Sheet layer number, that's fine, but change the title to something that I will recognize as a light plot. So I'm going to call this Chris's light plot. Okay? And, okay. It's going to come up and ask a couple of questions. Okay? What scale do you want your light plot in? 1/4 inch is a good choice. Okay? View, you want top plan view. If you need to turn layers or classes on and off, you can do so here, but I'll show you there's another place to do that. Okay? I'm going to click OK. And we're going to come here, and we have a light plot. Now, there are a couple of things we need to look at. First off, this gray box over here is our piece of paper. Do you guys see a problem with our light plot and our piece of paper? What's the problem?
It's not.
It's a little big.
It's not on the plot.
It's too big. Okay, the plot's too big. So what we have to do is, what'd you say? The paper's too small. Exactly. So let's change the paper. File, page setup. Okay, choose a size unavailable in printer setup, because you're going to probably be taking a light plot in the real world to a place that prints light plots. Okay, or prints blueprints that can handle big size pieces of paper. Okay, US architecture C will probably work, but you can play with any one of these, see what fits. Architecture C, click OK, and that's not going to quite fit. File, page setup, architecture D.
Will it get bigger?
Yes. Okay? Now, here's my paper. Here's my light plot. Let me just move my light plot onto my paper. Okay. Now, what I need you to understand about this is a picture. I can click on my lights here all they want. Nothing is going to happen. I can't edit the lights. If I need to edit the lights, I go over here and go back down to lights. Okay? Now I'm in my lighting design. Click up here, go to Chris's light plot. Now I am on a picture of my lighting design. Does that make sense? Okay? Very important concept to understand. I'm going to, because I drag my light plot around here. Okay? I can even type on top of this. I can type, "Hi, Mom." Okay? Okay, see, I've added "Hi, Mom," and it's right by the first box boom. Okay? If I go back to my lighting layer, okay, and we'll come over here and zoom in, Notice Hi Mom does not appear. Hi Mom is something I drew on the light plot. Does that make sense? Okay. Go back to the light plot. I'm going to get rid of Hi Mom because, well, I love my mother very much. She doesn't need to be on my light plot. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to drag my light plot around till it's well placed. Okay. Who remembers what we need on a lighting plot? We need some things around this. We don't just need this. We need some other stuff.
Don't go to jail part. To let them know
Notes.
The notes. Okay, so to do notes, click the T over here is your text tool and type notes. Notes. Hang stuff safely. Eat lots of pizza. Okay? Whatever notes you think you need to make. Okay? And this is just typing. Okay? Okay, so that's one thing we need to do. By the way, once you have it selected, if you need to change the size or the font, your object info can change the font so it can be in Arial and it can be in 96-point font. There you go. Okay? However you need to make it set up. Remember, you want to make it look nice. Okay? This also needs a border around it. Okay? Now you could draw a border using your rectangle tool, but you could click on, under tool sets, dims and notes, sheet border. Okay? Click on the sheet border in the space, and there you go. It puts a border in for you. Okay? We also need a title block. Okay? Under object info with your border selected, click on title block. And it says, what kind of title block do you want? Click on the symbol. You have lots to choose from. Choose whichever one makes you happy. I am going to go with a spotlight title block because this is spotlight, this is line design. Okay, so my title block went in and it says City Dances Spring 2015. Let's show you how to edit this stuff. Okay, in your object info box, scroll down to the bottom of the box and it says Edit Title Block. Okay, you have sheets and projects. Okay, if your lighting design is going to take more than one piece of paper, everything that you put in on the project will apply to every single title block you create. Everything you put on sheet only affects this one. Okay, so director, who directed Mr. Vermeer? You guys get to choose. So Clint Eastwood. Okay, project title, Mystery of Irma Vep. And we're doing this in August of 2019.
Did that say spring 2015?
It may have. Okay, Fresno City College main stage. It asks for the director twice. It only uses one of them, but I can't ever remember which one it uses, so I just fill it in both times. Designer name, how many sheets it is, CAD file name. You got to type that in, but that just makes it easy when someone is looking at this going, oh, what was the file called so I can go find it? Okay. Sheet values. This is drawing 1. Sheet title is light plot. I don't need that. Sheet scale is 1/4 inch equals 1 foot dash 0 inches because you select a quarter scale. Drawn by. Drawn by is important. A lot of designers don't do their own drafting. Okay, so then you know who drew it, and the drawing date. April 23rd, 2014. Click OK. And here it is, Mr. Vermeer Vep, directed by Clint Eastwood. Okay? Pretty awesome? Very awesome. Okay. Okay, so you need to do a light plot, okay? If your light plot needs to be multiple pages because things are too confusing because you have 400 instruments, Austin, attached to the floor, you're one who might want to do a second light plot. What you might want to do is move those instruments that are on the floor to a separate class. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I did here. So you'll notice, you guys saw the dance concert. You probably realized there were huge booms on the stage, right? So I actually need 2 of these. Okay, I need one for my overhead stuff, and I need one for all the stuff on the booms. I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to try to do everything all on one page. And I'm going to come over here to my viewport. Okay, this is my picture of my light plot, and I'm going to say I want to change what classes are visible. I want my booms to be visible too. Okay, that's what I called the class where I put all my booms. And we look at that, and oh look, they're visible. And look at this. That's a mess. I can't read that.
Wow.
Dear heavens.
Huh?
Wow.
That's really good.
Oh dear heavens, yes, this is all the lights on one page. Bad idea, right? So I'm going to turn the booms off. Okay?
Oh, booms.
Oh, even the
Booms.
little
I
footlights
figured
on the
out how to
front
fix
here
that
too.
problem.
Okay? Okay? So I'm going to come back to my lighting layer, and I'm going to say, okay, I want to do one with the booms. Now I could just generate a new viewport the way I did, or what I can do is I'm going to come over here and say, okay, what I want to do before I generate my new one is turn off my electrics. Oops. Turn off my instruments and turn on my booms. Okay, and now I'm going to say view, create viewport. I'm going to call this one boom, baby. And it goes on a new sheet layer. I'm going to call that sheet layer Chris's booms. Click OK. And click OK. And here are my booms. Okay. Oh, I have to change my paper size again, but I this time know what it is, right? It's going to be Arch D. Okay. And I'm going to drag this to someplace useful. Come on. Okay, and I need to put a border on it. We can do that, right? Border. And by the way, borders, click wherever you want. They always click to the paper. That's awesome. You can't put a border in badly. Okay, and it needs a title block.
Joe Bob from Hilligan.
Okay, and okay, I'm going to need to edit the information, but we're going to notice that a lot of the stuff is in here. Okay, Irma Vep is in here, director's in here, sheet scale. I have to change the date and the drawing information. Okay, so I just have to change, this is boom plot. Sheet scale, it still happens to be 1/4 inch, but it wouldn't have to be. There's 1 foot dash 0 inches. Still drawn by me, and it's still April 23rd, 2014. Oh, and it's sheet number 2. Okay, and there we go. So that stuff's filled in. Okay. So there is my, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm going, ooh, I don't like seeing my areas. That's kind of confusing. So I can come up, I can select my viewport and say I want to turn off my area, my focus points. Turn them off here, and there they go. Okay, make sense? The last thing we have to create is a lighting section. A section drawing is where we cut down the middle of the theater, and we throw half it away, and we look at what's left from the side. Okay. So to do this, we're going to go back to our lighting layer. Okay. And we do, and I'm going to turn everything on this time. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm just going to turn on my overhead stuff. So I'm going to turn my booms off. I'm going to turn my instruments on. I'm going to turn my electrics back on. Okay, I want to do a lighting section. View, create section viewport. Did you guys see that? Section viewport. Now, I need to draw a line. The line I'm going to draw is where it's going to make the cut. So that's the center line of the theater, which is conveniently on your drawing. Okay, and now I have to go one more click. If I click to the right, it'll look at the right of the line. If I click at the left, it'll look at the left of the line. Okay, right. Okay, need to call this a viewport lighting section. Create on a new sheet layer. Lighting section. Okay, we'll say okay about all that other stuff and take a look at it. And it's going to take it a moment because it's got to cut the theater in half and do all this work. Okay. And all my lights are on the floor. Or I have a whole bunch. Oh! All these lights on the floor down here, that's my key to instrumentation. So you might want to put your key to instrumentation on its own class so you can turn it off. Okay, oops. Okay, file, open recent, or not open recent, I need to file page setup, choose ArchD, okie dokie. Okay, and does your section need a border? Yes, everything needs a border and a title block. Border, title block. Okay, make sure you update your title block. Okay, this is page 3. It is sheet title is lighting section. Quarter inch. Okay, and there's my lighting section. Okay, your lighting section is going to show all the set stuff too, which is kind of cool. Okay. So that is sheet layers, borders, title blocks, and paperwork. And we have about 10 minutes to spare. What other Vectorworks questions do you guys have?
Oh, how do you get them all to snap to the line again?
Sure thing. Let's go show you how we align instruments. Okay. I'm going to come here to my third AP. And I'm going to pretend that I'm a really bad draftsperson. Whoa, come back here. Okay, and you know, I was drafting hurriedly, and some of my lights go up and some of my lights go down, and we want these all to look nice and neat, right? Okay, so select all the lights you want to look nice and neat. Okay, you do that by just drawing a box around them, or you can shift-click each one. Under your tool sets spotlight, you want your align and distribute tool, okay, which is this one. Click that, and then click, and you're going to draw a line, and it's going to line everything up. I basically trace an electric. Okay, and I can evenly distribute, which means it's going to move the lights to evenly distribute them, but you probably put the lights just where you want them, right? So you want to just align them. Click just align and click OK. And do that for each one of your lighting positions, and you'll have nice, neat, pretty, lined up lights. Okay? And before someone asks, do I really do that on every position? Yes, I do. Okay? Before I hand in a light plot to someone, because it looks nicer.
Do you do that on the box booms too?
Yep. You can do it on the box booms and show you. Okay? And these have already been done, which is why I'm moving them out of. Okay? So, same thing. I select align and distribute. Draw my line. Again, I just trace my box boom. And I'm going to say just align. Actually, on this one, we're going to distribute them on 2-foot centers. Okay? And there it moved my lights and it arranged them. Okay? If I don't like that, I can Control Z or Command Z, and I can say, you know what? Let's do this again, but I just want you to align them. Okay? Or you know what I really want? Evenly distribute them inside the points. That didn't work. Oh! That'd be why. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, evenly inside points. Okay, they're nice, they're neat, they're tidy. Okay. On box booms, I tend to do an even distribution inside the points because I just pretty much want them all in the same spot and have to suffer that they can't all be there. On a horizontal position, I usually want to put them exactly where I've placed them. Okay. Other questions? So at this point, you guys are probably an hour away from having a finished lighting design. Light plot. By the way, I want to show you one really, really cool thing. Okay? Let's say I was looking at my light plot and I said, you know what? I don't like that these are here. I want to just get rid of them. I delete them here. What I need to show you guys that's really important is when I go over to my light plot, it updated. If The viewports will update automatically, okay? If they don't, some things when you try to run it, it's going to say, oh, that's too complicated for me to update at the moment. If that happens, your viewport will have a red box around it, a red stripedy box. Okay, if that happens, all you have to do is select the viewport and click Update. Okay, that is one thing I will do when I am grading your projects, your final projects, is if a viewport needs to be updated, because it's marked as needs to be updated, I will run an update. Okay, almost anytime you open Vectorworks for the first time, the viewports are not there. You'll be like an empty box with a question mark in it, and it'll have a red thing around it. It's because Vectorworks hasn't calculated the viewport yet, because it takes a lot of computing, like section drawings especially. See, look, red box around it, something changed, and it hasn't recalculated it, okay? So if I just click Update, if I click on the viewport and click Update, it will update the viewport. It takes some time, okay? It's doing some math and some calculations, and there it is. You may go, well, nothing changed. Often that is the case. All Vectorworks knows is something changed, and I don't know whether it's changed this viewport or not because I haven't recalculated it. Okay? So if you see the red box, that's what it means. Other questions? Okay, how many of you at this point have all your lights in Vectorworks? 4 of you. Awesome. How many of you have 75% of your lights in Vectorworks? Or more?
More like 90. More like 90.
Okay. How many of you have like 25% or less of your lights in Vectorworks? Yay. Okay. While the test is Monday, and I seriously think you should review your lecture notes, my lecture notes, the book for the test is going to be on overarching concepts of lighting. Okay? If it is more than one question, I am positive at least one of the questions we talked about today will be on the test. Okay? But spend the bulk of your time getting to the point where you can do this. Okay? Because seriously, we're pretty much